What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of the Real Estate Level Up Podcast. Today we have a very special guest and a dear friend of mine. I'm excited to have him. Marcel is become a great friend. I'll let him tell you more about himself in a second, but we met a couple of years ago and just quickly connected. He was a tremendous student, took massive action, and we became very great friends very quickly. And he's built a beautiful business for himself, doing wholesales and some starting to specialize in some terms deals and working with realtors, and just a tremendous, intelligent, smart guy who you're going to get a lot of great things from, and still really young. So Marcel, it's great to have you, man. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, man. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. So tell everyone a little bit more about you, where you're from, and how old you are. That's a big one.
Yeah, so my name is Marcel Sunday. I'm originally from Frederick, Maryland, and I'm 21 years old. I'm 21 years old. I got into real estate not too long ago, about, I'm going to say 3 years ago. And, to kind of start off my journey, I started in real estate when I was 18, right when I turned 18. Within a few months, about when I was like 18 and 6 months or something, I got my real estate license. Thinking, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I was watching some YouTube videos, I knew I wanted to be a real estate investor. And so I went to go get my real estate license, and I'm sure Andrew will tell you guys about that. That wasn't the way to become a real estate investor.
Well, let's get into that a little more. So first off, what got you into real estate?
Well, so my mom was actually a real estate agent when I was growing up. She was a real estate agent for about 23 years. And when I was like 5, 6, 7, I would always go to her open houses so she could watch me while she was, getting more clients and different things like that. So the real estate industry always just entertained me, and I always thought that it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So, and to follow up what you said about being a realtor, getting your license, a lot of students have their license. I just know a lot of people have a misconception that they need their license to be involved in real estate, and that's definitely not the case, except someone like you use it as a tool and you use it smart, so nothing wrong with that. Going back though, if you had to do over, has it served you well? Would you do it again, or you think it's something that you wouldn't have? Is it something how do you feel about it?
That's a great question. If I were to go back, I wouldn't get my license. Honestly, I wouldn't have gotten my license. But now that I have it, I do use it as a tool, like you were saying. You've taught me different strategies on how I can use it to more benefit my career as a real estate investor. But I just don't think it's needed for everybody. If it's something that you want to do, you want to list houses, you want to help buyers, to go buy houses when it comes to on-market properties and things like that, I definitely think it's something that you should get into. But if you're looking to be a real estate investor and that's kind of your first goal, I wouldn't get it.
That's cool insight there from someone who has it and uses it. Of course, yeah, as everyone knows, I don't have it. But both sides of the coin, neither is good or bad or right or wrong, just whatever your preference is. Now, next question for you, Marcel. You're 21 years old. You've been doing this for a little while. What's your business look like today? What are you mainly doing?
Yeah, so my business is looking pretty good right now. We're doing mostly about 2 to 3 wholesale deals a month. We're doing about a flip a quarter. My main focus right now is wholesale deals. Wholesale deals are really the main business right now, and then we're doing flips on the side as well. And soon we're going to be holding a lot of terms deals within the next few months.
Yeah, you're getting good at pitching the terms thing. And I'm excited for you because that's when everything will change. And you're killing it with wholesale deals. So, nothing wrong with that either. So when you're talking to someone who's maybe looking to get started listening to this podcast, and we'll delve into your business a little bit more in a moment, if somebody's listening and they're going, man, this guy's 21, he's been doing it for several years already, like, that's inspiring. I really want to go out and get my first $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 check. What's that one piece of advice to somebody listening wanting to get started that you would say that you did just a few years ago, really a few months ago by now? 36 months is not long.
Yeah. The first step I would say is you want to get over the fear of getting on the phone. You got to get on the phone. You got to start talking to sellers. That's the first thing that you got to do. And secondly, I would say you just got to stay consistent. You keep talking to these sellers every day. You figure out the right scripts. You figure out the right things to say. And, the deals will just start coming in the more consistent you are.
Wow. That's good. And so true. When you guys started, what was the number one key to making you so successful so young?
That's a good question. I would say when I first got started, it was really about my drive, my wantingness. I was young. Most people are partying. They're going to college. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff that most people want to do at a young age. And I wanted to do it. I wanted to go have fun, party at the clubs, wherever it may be. But I knew I had something deeper inside of me. I knew I had something that was bigger than just the parties. That was bigger than just having fun on the weekends. And so I kind of used that drive and motivation to want to learn from the right people.
That's awesome. So, shameless plug for me. Just speaking of learning from the right people, how did it change your life when you met me and started learning from my way of doing things?
Oh my God, it astronomical change. So just to start, okay. So when I met Andrew, I was trying to figure out how to consistently wholesale. I had done some real estate agent deals, but I hadn't done any wholesale deals just yet. And meeting Andrew, it allowed me to actually figure out what it takes to be a real estate investor, how many calls I need to make, what I should be saying on the phones, how I need to be going about this, and the consistent steps that I need to take every single day to make those things happen. And before that, just like most of you guys watching, I was on YouTube, I was looking at this guy, I was looking at that guy, I was like, oh, well, I can do this strategy, I can do this strategy, and it's like drinking from a fire hose. But when I started speaking with Andrew and he had Andrew connected, he told me, he was like, hey, you need to zero in and just focus on this, and that was turns deals and learning how to pitch turns the right way. And through that, being able to get cash deals, terms deals, really any kind of deal that I wanted by the way I was speaking to sellers.
That's powerful. And I noticed something about you very early on, Marcel, and that is that you would take something I said on the phone or something that I had taught, and you would immediately just go to work, pick up the phone, and implementing it. Yeah. And that's such a huge piece. And I mentioned this, you said watching multiple videos from multiple people. Would you say singularity of focus is key?
Oh my God. Singularity of focus is exactly what you need to do. And to kind of throw in the one thing by Gary Keller, like the same time that I had met Andrew, it was the same time I read The One Thing by Gary Keller, and it just came all together because it's like I was trying to focus on all these different wholesaling options that you fry money to. And Andrew's like, hey, focus on this. And, reading The One Thing showed me that was the one thing that I should focus on.
So you're saying if you try to catch two rabbits, you won't catch any.
That's right.
That's good. That's good. So as you're growing your business, what's kind of envisioned now? You're killing it. You're making good money wholesaling. I know you're starting to build your portfolio with the creative stuff. What's kind of the next step for you?
Yeah, well, the next step is, within the next, few short years, the goal is to start having, 5 to 10 wholesale deals a month. The goal is to start doing around 100K a month and keeping a lot more deals, keeping a lot more turns deals, a lot more deals at a deep discount, and really building up my portfolio.
I'm just sitting here in awe. I was 21 years old when I heard about real estate. And I was trying to fathom making an extra $3,000 a month, and here you are, just turned 21, talking about $100,000 a month, and I love it. I love that. So, what in your mind? Because some people are listening and they're going, "That's awesome," and somebody else is going, "Oh my goodness, I'm 30, 40, 50 years old, and I'm having trouble thinking 10 grand a month, let alone 100 grand a month. How do you, at 21 years old, develop the mindset to go, I'm going to hit 100K a month in not too long? Like, what happens?
Yeah. I mean, I have to kind of circle back to, like, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. You know, I mean, right after you get that proof of concept, you get your first deal or maybe your second deal. If you're surrounding yourself around the right people, you'll be able to see that it's possible. Me being around Andrew consistently, talking to him very, very often, I realized that it's very, very possible. He does, you know, over $100,000 a month pretty consistently and has been doing it for a while now. And me realizing that this is very possible for someone even as young as himself, you know, he's young as well, you know, I was like, okay, now how can I get to, you know, the numbers that he's hitting, or hopefully even close to some of the numbers that he's hitting. And me being able to have conversations with those people who are in the field doing it is really what allowed me to start seeing that and thinking that way.
So you're saying jump off the cliff and figure out the parachute later, right?
Exactly.
Pick up the phone and start dialing. And that was one thing, again, that is so powerful. It's the make or break difference between a lot of people that either succeed or don't, is whether you just pick up the phone and start screwing up the call. Because I screwed up plenty of calls, and I know you did.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. So future pace yourself a little bit. You're a few years down the road, you're hitting your dream number, you've built your portfolio. Where is this heading? What's your vision? What's your mission?
So my goal is to impact 100 million people before I die. Impact 100 million people in a positive way before I die. And right now, in this journey, in this stage of my life, you know, I'm impacting people through real estate. And then, you know, later down the line, you know, I want to impact people in different ways through, you know, speaking on stages, telling people about, you know, my background, my story, how I got into what I'm doing currently, and giving back to schools and charities and different things like that. And, you know, that's kind of my goal, to impact people.
That's amazing. I love your heart for others, and that shines through everything you do. It's powerful. One other thing I want to mention, I talk a lot about on these RELU podcasts, on the Real Estate Level Up podcast. I talk about community building. I talk about finding and surrounding yourself by the right people. I know since I've known you, you moved to Savannah, and you've already built a community of people there. Speak to that a little bit. How important is that in your network and you're growing your portfolio and your name? And I know you do a little bit of education now. And how important is that? How do you go about that?
I mean, it's huge. I mean, so let's say that you are in your local market. It's extremely important to be known as a real estate investor. You should tell every single person, hey, I buy houses, or I help people buy houses, and I help people sell houses. It's really important to do that. That's something that Andrew told me early on. He said, hey, you want to be one of the people in the market who are buying houses. And through that, you know, you're going to attract deals. Instead of you possibly chasing deals, you're going to attract them. And that's something that I've done here in Savannah. Ever since I got to Savannah, Andrew had told me, he said, go to the real estate investors groups, you know, go to the Facebook groups, go to all these different places. And, you know, I asked to take an investor out to coffee. I asked to have, you know, a conversation with someone who's been in the business for a while, who's been in Savannah. And through that, you'll be able to connect with all the different people within the city. And not even within just real estate, in business as a whole, because you can figure out how to do some kind of referral with them. Let's say you find an insurance agent or someone who's a travel agent or anything of that sort. You guys can find a way to do business together.
2 last questions as we bring it to a conclusion today, man. It's so good having you with us. I love every time I get to hang out with you virtually and even more in person. So when it comes to this real estate investing business, what has been your single biggest mistake or pitfall or thing you, looking back, would have loved to have avoided?
The first one was when I first started, I was inconsistent. Something that I learned through Andrew was that you have to keep building that snowball, right? And for me, he told me, he said, hey, Marcel, you need to talk to 10 sellers every day, no matter what. No matter what, you need to talk to 10 sellers every day. At the beginning, when I had started, I would talk to 20 sellers one day, and I would have talked to sellers for 4 or 5. And through that, I would get maybe one deal and then no deals for 3 or 4 months. But now that I've been a lot more consistent, I see deals coming in every single month because I'm starting to build that snowball, and I created that consistency over time.
That's awesome. Consistency is key. And that's powerful too. As you build that momentum, that's really what building your snowball is creating momentum. What is the biggest win or favorite deal that you've done so far?
Oh, biggest win or favorite deal that I've done so far? It would be my first terms deal. And that one, I actually did with Andrew's help. That one was probably my favorite deal because it was an opening to the things that I was going to learn within the next few months and few years. And that deal was a deal that we negotiated a $20,000 down payment, monthly payments deferred, right? Meaning we don't have to pay monthly payments for 2 whole years. And, obviously it adds on to the total purchase price. The purchase price was $255,000. We put $20,000 down, and we were able to own the asset, put a little bit of work into it, and start cash flowing immediately into that property.
That's awesome. That's what I love about creative finance. Whatever you and the seller agree to is what you get. If it's a win for them and it's a win for you, everybody wins. So any final thoughts you want to share with the listeners here that would be an inspiration or encouragement, whether there's somebody new or experienced? What's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts, I would say, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're 100% right. And when it comes to this real estate business, I would say it's better to think that you can, because when you realize that you can do it, the sky's the limit for you.
That's powerful. I love that. We're going to be thinking anyway. We might as well be thinking big. No need to use our talents thinking small or shooting for small goals, and whatever you can dream or believe you can achieve. That's amazing, Marcel. So awesome being together again, man. I can't wait to see you again in person soon. Maybe we'll do another one of these when we're together in person.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
so much.
I'm excited for it, brother.
All right, we'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye for now, everybody.